Okay guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and we have something quite amazing. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the 5th DLC. Now, DBS Hype in conjunction with this Twitter user, which I do not know their name or who they are, to be honest. The first time I heard about them, but Maverick anyway. They have confirmed that the Dragon Ball 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai tournament will be the 5th DLC for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And this, guys, is absolutely amazing. This is awesome because here we see Goku just after the training arc, while he was training, preparing for like 3 years, and Goku is becoming an adult, and it is so different because this is effectively before Dragon Ball Z. This is Dragon Ball. This is not a Dragon Ball Z. Okay, so it's quite exciting. Will we be able to see Goku as a kid while he's training, or is he just gonna go to the tournament straight away? We don't know. There's lots of different questions, there's lots of unknowns, but there's one thing here, guys, which I want to clarify with you guys, which is the following. It's quite likely that because of this particular DLC, they will implement new mechanics, as in new combat mechanics, because in this tournament, okay, Goku does not use flight at all. He only uses flight just once, and the flight uses is in this particular fight, which is the last fight, which is then when he is pretty much injured and he can't move his hands or his feet or whatever, he just flies up and then bashes Piccolo with his head, right? Comes from behind. And this is the only instance where he actually uses flight a bit, to be honest, that's it, because Goku in Dragon Ball, before Dragon Ball Z, his flight technique is very weak, it's very flimsy, he's not able to do it properly. I mean, there's another article which talks about this, which is Dragon Ball, how and when did Goku learn to fly. Goku uses a weaker version of flight towards the end of the Dragon Ball, but by the introduction of his son Gohan, he's completely mastered the ability. Now, this is it, because in this tournament, as you can see here, there's different fights, as you can see here, and all of these fights, if you watch them again, happen on the tournament, on the floor, on the actual arena. It does not happen in the sky. So first and foremost, they have to enable new mechanics, new boundaries for the tournament arena, in which you will be able to fight, just like in Dragon Ball, I know, for example, like Dragon Ball Budokai 3, that was a good example, where you actually fight in the arena and you cannot fly randomly anywhere. You just have to fight in the specific area, okay, and you cannot get out, which is quite exciting. Now, in the quarterfinals, we have there's different fights. For example, you have Tenshinhan, Tao Pai Pai, Chi-Chi, Son Goku, Krillin, Demon Jr., Yamcha, and Shen, which is obviously Kami-sama from the Dragon Ball. Then we have Tenshinhan, Son Goku, Demon Jr., Shen, and then Goku and Demon Jr., as in Piccolo Jr., right? So this is the final. So as you can imagine, for a second, first and foremost, this does not warrant a DLC in itself because it's just too short. And the second one is, if we're going to get the tournament, does that mean we can play with the different characters? Are we be able to play with Piccolo? Most likely we'll be able to play with Piccolo, potentially. Most likely we'll be able to play with, I know, maybe Krillin, I'm just assuming, or Tenshinhan, but like it just doesn't make any sense to just have a whole DLC and then you do like what, 3 fights and that's it. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So there's a couple of questions here. Of course, this is like early speculation, because all we know so far is that it is going to feature the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai tournament, and that's it. That's all we know. For all the fact we know, maybe like it's gonna have more. Maybe it's gonna have like the training arc of Goku. Maybe it's gonna have some elements of Dragon Ball, and maybe it's gonna have some elements of after the tournament, stuff like after the story, with like Goku with Chi-Chi doing their missions, their stuff. All right, so it could be many things happening in this particular DLC, which is gonna be a combination of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, kind of mixed together. And this is really cool because this will actually be the first DLC which will cover Dragon Ball in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So as you can see here, the game is already moving different pieces and expanding in the universe. And this is really cool because this could be a new mechanism setting the scene effectively to enable ground combat, so that in future DLCs, for example, the Tournament of Power in a sequel, for example, the system would be established. They can use that as the combat system. I mean, CC2 already have a floor system for Naruto games, so Naruto games and Kimetsu no Yaiba already have a floor combat system, so they know how to do it properly. They just have to implement it in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which I'm sure they will be able to do it, which is very simple. But guys, I'm really excited about this. This is super hyped, to be honest. I was not expecting this. I was expecting like Bardock, sorry, Broly, my bad. I was expecting Broly. I was expecting Cooler, but I was not expecting Dragon Ball. And I like it because they have to go back to Dragon Ball because there's so many cool stories in Dragon Ball, and I would really like them if they would actually spend some time building upon Goku's childhood, like effectively like him going on an adventure, fighting against the Red Ribbon Army. That would be awesome. Fighting against our enemies, like just having kid Goku kind of evolve and then become an adult, doing the training and all that stuff. So that would just be so cool, guys. And yeah, I cannot wait. Now, of course, one more final thing about this particular DLC. When it's gonna come out, we don't know, because we know that the first DLC, DLC 4, is gonna come out in January. I presume this one is gonna come at some point in summer, maybe looking at the June, July, potentially. That's a possibility. So then DLC 6, which is gonna be the final DLC of Season Pass 2, is gonna come maybe around November, December, or January 2024, which is gonna be the anniversary for the 4th anniversary for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which again, it makes sense. So guys, that's it for today's video on Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Cannot wait. Of course, as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I will keep you updated with all the information about the DLC, the story, the events, and all the leaks is gonna be covered on this channel as soon as it becomes available, guys. And this is hype. This is super hype. Believe me, this is great stuff because we're gonna see stuff here which has never been done before in other Dragon Ball games. And this is exactly why Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is such an open canvas. You can literally make with it whatever you want because you have the characters, you have the world, and you can do everything. Now, hopefully they're gonna give us also the versus mode. So finally, I mean, right now on PC you can play versus using a mod on PC, but on consoles you cannot do it. It's annoying. So on Switch, on consoles, you just have to play the story again and again to play against the characters. So having a versus mode would make so much more sense, especially having a tournament. Hopefully once you finish the tournament, you can play it again with different characters. It would be nice. It would be nice, to be honest, because it just makes sense. Why would they not allow you to do it? Because it would just be so cool, right? Having like the versus mode, the tournament mode, which many other Dragon Ball games, for example, Budokai Tenkaichi, all of them had it, and you could use it every single time and play it indefinitely. So it doesn't make any sense yet why they have not implemented this. And remember that the actual tournament is actually available in the game. So right now, if you go to the game, you can fly through it and you can actually see it. And there's an announcer which says that this is not open yet. So that's kind of like a tease in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot because the arena is already there. It's just not being used as of the moment, but of course in the future it can be used for this DLC, and we're seeing that this is exactly what's happening. The arena was a tease and now it's being used to release DLC 5. Guys, super exciting as always. I shall see you later in the next upload. See you guys very soon.